Hey everyone, and welcome back to another iZombie recap here on the channel. Today we're going over the 10th episode of the current and final season. Let's go ahead and see what happened. The episode begins with a meeting of the military generals trying to deal with the fallout from the zombie attack at the festival that happened in the previous episode. Some want to take out Seattle altogether, and they come to an agreement to take 48 hours to decide on what to do. At the morgue, Liv arrives to find all the victims of the zombie attack, and Ravi tells her what he knows about her father. She immediately goes to her father and confronts him about the creation of Utopium. He tells her that was the old him and that he made a lot of mistakes, but that it's all in the past. Liv asks him for the formula, but he tells her that he doesn't have it and that he was high all the time he was making Utopium and has no way to know what was making the tainted batch. Liv is called out to a crime scene and Clive tells her that the victim is a private detective. Now after this, the episode turns into a noir film and the colors go extremely muted as the brain effects start to affect Liv. Their search leads them to a suspect, a zombie prostitute, but she turns up dead as well. Liv's father shows up at the morgue to speak with Ravi. He thinks they can work together to develop a cure. He doesn't seem to be honest though, as he's asking a lot of questions about how Ravi made the original cure. The lady who Clive and Liv originally interviewed shows up at the scratching post and pulls a gun on Blaine. He asks her why she killed the PI and the prostitute, and she says she saw an opportunity and she took it. Blaine grabs the gun from her and then one of the security guards smacks her in the head. Clive has apparently figured out that it was the lady they interviewed that killed the two victims, and he tells Liv that she just needs to go home and not pursue it, that they have people tracking the woman down. Liv wants to go to the PI's office to search for a motive, and Clive tells her just to forget about it. Blaine breaks into the PI's office and finds Liv waiting for him with the client file. At Fillmore Graves, Major introduces himself to a new janitor and then suspects something is up when he notices the man has two key cards. He asks him to come with him and the man hesitates, clearly nervous. Major presses the issue and the man runs headfirst into a wall and impales himself on some towel hooks. Clive is angry with Liv for breaking into the PI's office, but then it occurs to Liv when she encountered Blaine he was acting like the lady they interviewed. It becomes clear to both of them that she's dead and that Blaine has eaten her brain. They bring Blaine into the station for questioning and he deflects their accusations, saying they don't have a body and they can't arrest him for murder. Blaine has a vision of the prostitute having a phone conversation with someone about the zombie cure. Liv recognizes that he's had a vision and demands he tells them, but he won't. Liv slaps Blaine and then he leaves. Clive tells Liv that she's off the case until she gets the PI brain out of her system. Liv's father gathers his people together and tells them that all the pieces of their plan is finally in place. Doing her own research, Liv figures out that the prostitute's father hired the PI to find his daughter and that he tracked her down to the scratching post, but she can't figure out how the other lady, Jane, comes into this. Liv has a vision of the PI preparing to meet the prostitute and he has a syringe of the cure. Liv and Peyton go to the scratching post to investigate and Peyton, very drunk, is up for some karaoke. Now I found this scene hilarious as after 5 years they're finally going to showcase that Ali Mashaka is a singer, but when she gets up on stage she's absolutely horrible. I just thought this was great. Blaine confronts Liv in the kitchen and they start to fight. She threatens to kill him when the security guard hits her over the head with the bat. Liv pulls a gun on him just as Clive and the police arrive. Apparently Liv had called him before she got to the club. Blaine double crosses the security guard and tells the police that he killed Jane and the blood on the bat will prove it. The military generals meet again and vote on bombing Seattle. They end up deciding to not go through with the attack. Thanks to Liv's detective work, they figure out that the PI had the syringe of the cure in his coat pocket and then left it at the dry cleaners where the prostitute could pick it up. They call the cleaners just as we see someone pick the coat up, and it turns out to be Candy, the zombie waitress we've seen since the beginning. She arranged all of this in order to become human again and leave Seattle. Still suspicious of her father, Liv breaks into his house with Ravi's help. She finds the heavily locked door and goes inside, finding a lab. Ravi finds the formula for Utopium in his files, and they steal the formulas when they hear someone walking around upstairs. As they prepare to make a run for it, Ravi pulls back a curtain thinking it's a basement door, and they find zombies behind bars that have been held captive there. The episode ends with one of the military generals making a call to the evil food truck lady and wanting to work together to take out Seattle. Now typically I don't like it when shows do noir episodes, I just find them cheesy and out of place. Riverdale and Pretty Little Liars both tried them and they were just god awful. This episode however was really fun and I just thought it was very enjoyable and I truly liked all the twists and was actually surprised by them. So thanks for watching everyone and I'll see you again next week.